Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to start my live. Talking about my life. I'm going to start at when I moved out at the age of 15, but I'm also going to give you guys a little bit of background so you can know how it led up to me actually moving out at 15, and then we're going to move forward. This video is not intended for young girls who are 15, 14, 16, whatever. It is not intended for young girls to move out. It's intended for me to tell you guys my story and what happened in my life. If you want to continue to watch my videos, because there are more coming, and you have not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications so you'll be able to receive all of my videos that I post on my channel. For those of you who've already subscribed to my channel, thank you for keeping my channel up and going. I love it. I love the support from all over the world. I literally have supporters everywhere, and it's so exciting. It's so exciting to me to have people who I do not know commenting on my videos, watching my videos, especially my video from 2017, which really made my channel possible when I did my daughter's dreads and interlocking them. That video is charting up. We're gonna go on with the story. So basically, I moved out when I was 15. Yes, you heard me. I was 15 years old. I lived with my grandma and my aunt off and on, and my mom, she worked a lot. Let me get comfortable, you guys. Most of the time coming up, especially my teenage years, I got in trouble. So we're gonna go back a little bit. I kept getting in trouble at my aunt's house. We lived in Hoffel's, and I just loved it around it. I loved it. All the boys was around there, all the older guys and everything. So I wanted to be around people I knew, and I just wanted to be around there. I loved being around there. So I got in trouble several times. One time, the lady who stayed upstairs, she was selling cigarettes and blunts and stuff like that. I decided to go take her cigarettes and blunts and try to sell them. She called the police on me. I got in trouble. I got sent home to my mama. I got into several fights. I was getting in trouble, y'all. Bad, but I thought I was bad. I really thought I was a gangster. Like, I thought I was a gangster. I grew up in the mountain. I used to stay around the mountain from the kindergarten to 4th grade. Then I moved with my mom in 5th grade. I didn't like staying with my mom because I was so used to, you know, staying with my aunt and stuff. And then my mom had a boyfriend that I had to get away. He was very mean and abusive, and I had to get away from him. So I got a younger brother, and I tried to stay there for him because I was his big sister. I wanted to take care of him, but I couldn't, because at the same time I was still a child. But I had to get away, and my grandmother was always my outlet, and my aunt was my outlet as well. So I would leave my brother from time to time. However, my brother didn't stay home much either, because like I said, my mom worked a lot, so my brother actually stayed with our great-grandmother. So I was glad at the time that he was there, but I was also sad because I wanted him to be around us, around me more. So there became times when I had to go stay with my dad for the whole summer, which I didn't like as a child because my dad's house was structured. His house was structured, y'all. I hated his structure. And the crazy part now is I kind of run my household the same way that my dad did. We had to rake the leaves, we had to clean the yard, we had to eat at the same time. To me, that was foreign. I did not like that. We had to eat at the same time and everything. And I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it. And I used to be mad. And I'm looking at my mama like, why I can't go with y'all? See, my dad is the laid back, cool, conservative. My mama and them is turned up. They turned up. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go turn up with my mama and them. I already thought I was hood. I was listening to Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice. I was listening to This Songs Dedicated. Like, all the songs and everything. I thought I was a gangster, for real. I thought I was a gangster, like, growing up. And to me, my dad and them was like family type, for real, family oriented. My grandma, she really didn't like set boundaries. I didn't have like a lot of boundaries. I stayed there. I ate there. When I ate, she used to always say I used to boil all the eggs and eat all the eggs. That's probably why I'm a little fat now. But anyway, I've been fat all my life. But anyway, so I used to, whatever I used to eat, basically my mom used to send it over there or give my grandma money or whatnot. And so that's kind of how that worked out for me. I was always like a responsible type person. I went to school. My grandma made sure I got up, went to school every day. my aunt let me come back again. She gave me another chance and let me come back. And I basically kind of got raised with my cousins. My honey had called you guys. So I'm gonna put in a little clip of him calling. We're gonna make sure we stay safe and healthy, unless it's meant for us to go another way. I'm not dark on this phone. I love you too, baby. Okay. Mwah. All right, baby.
Thank you for using GTL.
So yeah, that's my honey. My honey's in prison, and we will definitely get to that, how we met, all that good stuff. So no one is gonna take care of you like, I guess, your parents will. However, I had a lot of free range to do a lot of things that I want to do. I did a lot of things. I think I did more things as a teenager than I did as an adult, if that makes sense to some. We moved from Hoffman's. Worst day ever. I loved Hoffman's, y'all. That's how much I love Hoffman's. Like, I just loved being around there. All my friends were there. When I first moved around there, I was 9. I had just turned 10 or 11. No, I had just turned 11. I remember it was close to my 11th birthday, and everybody used to ask me my name and all that stuff. I wanted to be named Little Chanda so bad. Yeah, Little Chanda. Why? I don't know. I just wanted my name to be different. So yeah, I was telling about my name, Little Chanda, and all that good stuff. I met my friend. Her name is Sharonica. She introduced me to her cousin. Boom. I met Sharonica. I met everybody around Hoffler's. I became friends, but me and Sharonica came the tightest. Me, her, and some other girls, Beasley, Tam, Cootie. We all hung together. We thought we were hot girls. We used to call each other hot girls. We used to put the aluminum foil on our teeth and all this stuff. We used to rap on the phone to some guy that Tam had for us. I don't even know who the guy was, but we used to rap on the phone. We used to think we was hot girls. We was in love with Cash Money, Lil Wayne, Juvenile, all of them. We just in love with them. I think Tam was in love with Turk. I was in love with Lil Wayne. I can't remember who Cootie liked or Beasley. But Burley liked Juvenile. Like, we just in love. We was little girls. We was teenagers. I didn't go to middle school with them. I went to Kennedy because I did not belong in the neighborhood. I actually got banned from the neighborhood because I got into fights. Me and Tam fought. Me and I jumped in a bunch of fights. It was crazy. That's like a little background. It's just funny because how I am now, I'm the complete opposite. Like, I'm the complete opposite. We live and we learn, we grow. So I ended up having to, when my aunt, she had got a new boyfriend, he moved her out of Hoffler's, and her boyfriend, which is near her husband of like 20 years, I believe. I'm not going to talk about those because I don't know if it's okay with them. I really haven't talked to them. I supposed to been talking to everybody, but this just came about that I need to go ahead and do it. 2021 is approaching, and I said that this was going to be my thing for 2021, to drop a couple of videos at least every other week so I could get this started, because I want to talk about it. I just want to talk about it. So, we used to bump heads all the time. He moved us out of Hoffler's, moved us to Cedar Street. And I was upset because he was taking me away from what I was used to. So basically, to get away, I would tell them lies about where I was at. I told them I was in Holland. I always told them I was in Holland with my friend Sharonica, because their whole family was in Holland. So I was like family, and we was in Holland. We was in Holland. I was right in Suffolk, but I was in Holland. Me and my aunt's husband, now husband, we used to bump heads all the time. We got into a fight. I was mouthy. I used to run my mouth all the time, talk trash. And I just didn't like him. I didn't like how he was trying to come take over. We were having fun. We were staying in the Hoffler's. You come move us out. You do all this. You made a big change for us. And I'm not biologically her daughter. However, I was there, and he changed my life when he moved us away and all this other stuff. So me and him got into it really bad. We got into it real bad. And we got into it so bad that He took all my clothes, all my things. He threw them out of the house. And, you know, I called my mama. My mama was with her then husband. And, you know, they came over there. It was going to be a fight. The police got called. I told all my cousins, like, y'all better not be his daddy. Y'all better not respect him. Y'all better not do this. Y'all better not do that. He not your dad and all this stuff. You know, just being, I was being grown. And I think at this time I was like 14. So, you know, I end up going with my mama that night. But it didn't last long because my mother's ex-husband was so mean, so abusive, and I was so outspoken and so outgoing, like he wasn't gonna do and talk to me any type of way. Me and him had a past. Me and him used to get into it. He used to be so mean to my brother, so I just didn't like him. I did not like him. So I ended up going to stay with my daddy. I had to end up going to stay with my daddy. And I didn't want to go because I knew my daddy's house was so structured. I just didn't like the structure. I didn't like having to eat meals at the same time. I didn't like having to go to bed at the same time. I didn't like it. And I thought my little brother was just so spoiled because he had so much stuff. And that's just how. One day I ran away. In my head, I ran away. In my mom and my daddy head, I don't know what they thought, but I ran away. I ran away and I had a teddy bear with me, y'all. A teddy bear. I was 14. But I ran away. My daddy had an alarm system. And so one night I was thirsty, hungry or something. So I'm going to sneak downstairs. And next thing you know, disarmed, now disabled. The alarm went off and he was like, Chanda, you're not supposed to go downstairs. I'm like, the crap. At my old house, I can go downstairs when I want to. You know, that's what I'm thinking in my head because I never really like talked back to my daddy or none of that type of stuff. I wasn't used to the structure. And as a child, I didn't like it. But as an adult now, it is so much a part of me. The family, the eating together, how I do my kids, the alarm system. I got the same, well, not the same alarm system, but the same stuff. So I caught myself running away. So I went to my grandma's house. I went to my grandma's house. I was 15. So I moved to my grandma's house. I was going to Nance River High School. My 9th and my 10th grade year, I attended Nance River High School. And this is around the time. So while I'm living with my grandma, me and Sharonica's cousin. So we started getting closer. I started going over his house all the time. Me and her would go over to his house. And we'd just be grown. We'd be grown little kids. We wasn't doing anything. You know, we started to like each other. We started kissing and all that type of stuff. So me and Sharonica decided that our 10th grade year, we were going to switch our schools. And I was going to go be grown and go to school with Sharonica. So we did that. We switched our schools. We basically we switched our schools. But anyway, I would go over there almost every weekend. Me and Sharonica would walk to Suffolk Station from east side, from our side of town, Capitol Street. We would walk there from Hoflas. We would walk there from anywhere. So we used to walk to Saratoga and Suffolk Station because it was Saratoga first. So we walked there to Suffolk Station. We'd get rides. It was time had went on and stuff, y'all. I'm not giving all 100% details, but I'm going off the top of the dome. I'm just speaking it from what I can remember. So if I mix up a little bit, please bear with me, but I'm just speaking it from what I actually remember. Okay, so after all of that, we started living basically with her cousin so that we could be closer to where we wanted to be, which was Saratoga, because we was from Hoflas. We wanted to be in Saratoga. That was a new set of people. But anyway, so one night my mama was out and partying and she forgot to come pick us up. So Sharonica, one night we walked home. We was over there, we was doing whatever we wanted to do. We walked home late. It was 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And I just want to pause and thank God because we used to do stuff like that all the time. And nothing ever happened to us. Nothing ever happened to us. As you can see, we're still here. But we used to walk, young girls, in the middle of the night, all the way across town. At that time of the morning, now you can't really do that. You just can't. People coming up missing. So I really want to thank God for keeping us for real. So we used to do all that walking and going across town and all that stuff. So one night I ended up staying. And that's what kind of started me staying over there. I loved it. I loved it. We were young and he used to be around his mama. He used to be cussing and doing all this stuff. I'm he trying to show off in front of me. He cussing around his mama. I'm I like it over here. I just wanted to be around that type of stuff. I liked it. So the times, but when they moved to Suffolk Station is when I moved in with them. The second time, my mama didn't know I was there. I told my grandma I was going over there, and I was just being grown. I stayed. Sharonica mama used to go off on her, so she literally came and got her. I was like, my mama gonna come and get me. I lied. I stayed. So that's how that started. One night, I needed to get my hair taken loose. I'll never forget. I needed to get my hair taken loose. His mom was taking my hair loose for me, and it got late. So I called my grandma and was like, "Is nobody to bring me home? It's too late for me to come back home or whatnot. So I'm gonna just stay here tonight and take my hair loose, and I'm not going to go to school tomorrow." And my grandma was like, "You tell your mama?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she was like, "Well, okay." She didn't confirm it or nothing. So I'm like, "That's easy," or whatnot. So I ended up just kept staying. I kept saying I was in Harlem when I wasn't. You know, I didn't miss a whole bunch of days in school or nothing like that. But I did that time. I really was taking my hair loose, and we really wasn't done. So, you know, I was honest. But at the same time, I still shouldn't have been staying with a boy. But anyway, it worked out. My life worked out. After that, I started staying more and more to the point where I just moved in. Like, I literally moved in. His mama was okay with it. We were sleeping in the same room together and everything. So y'all know that's like, huh? So I moved in with them. We went to school together. We got jobs together. We didn't have kids, even though I was on the shot, but we didn't make any kids like we were doing good to be, you know, teenagers that was staying together. So that's how I ended up switching. We ended up switching our schools, and so we started going to Lakeland. We switched from Nancy and we started going to Lakeland. So at 11th and 12th grade year, we were going to Lakeland because we wanted to be around the boys. That was my boyfriend, so I went to school with him. I can't really remember how we switched our own schools, but we did. We did it. We did. We switched our schools. We switched our schools. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to ask her. That was that. I'm about to call her. Hold on. Okay, so I messaged her, y'all. I didn't call. But I did message her, and also just messaged her to let her know, because I said something to her before about it and I didn't go forth with it. So I'm basically messaging her now, and we are so weak about the situation, but that's just proof that I'm messaging her on Facebook Messenger. But we switched our schools, and that was like the turning point. I moved out. I went to school. We went to school together as teenagers. You know, we did stuff that grown people did, and we got up and we got ourselves up, and we went to school every day. We went to school every day. So, you know, I wasn't at my grandma's house eating up all her food, so she probably was fine. I called them. I checked on them. They called me. You know, then it got to a point where everybody just knew where I was at. So we had a little first love type relationship. We used to do everything together. We went to school together. We had each other lockers together. That's my boyfriend. Nobody better not look at him. All this other stuff. We used to go through some crazy stuff. We used to go to clubs. We used to go to this club in Franklin called Rit Rock. Me, Burley, Nay, the whole family, the whole Holland. Everybody used to go to clubs. We used to have fun together. You know, do all of this other stuff. I remember one night I was in Rit Rocks, and he was, when the lights cut on, he was grinding on a girl. I went off in Rit Rocks. I went off. I was mad. But we had fun. We had good times together. Well, first off, before I graduated in 2004, we both went on job interviews together. We did all that type of stuff. So we got a job. He had got a job at McDonald's. I got a job at Burger King. So we both was like working across the field from each other. Or was it Hardee's? I can't remember. But so we worked across the field from each other. Either it was across the field or across the street. But we both worked. Like, even though we was young, we could have dropped out of school. Nobody wouldn't have said nothing to us. Like, we could have basically we could have did a lot of stuff that we shouldn't have been doing, but we continued our education. We continued going to school, and we basically learned from each other. We learned and bond and build it from each other. We had so much trust in each other. Until 2004, I graduated. I was out of school, but I was still working at Burger King because he didn't graduate till 2005, and that's when stuff started going downhill for me. Anyway, he had got a girlfriend, had got a little friend while he was at school. Like, we didn't live together, So we lived together, you know, we all had our little flip phones. So he was texting, people texting his phone, and I don't know who these numbers are. So I'm looking at these texts, I'm reading these texts, and he flirting with this girl in school and stuff. So, you know, we got into it about this girl all the time. And one night we got into it. He was like, he didn't want to go with me no more or something like that, because we was always fussing and fighting about this girl. He was acting like she wasn't real, but she was real. So we broke up. Boom. When I turned 18, when I was 18, we broke up. So mid 2004, no, the end of 2004, it was cold outside, never forget. And I had went through his phone and I seen his messages and stuff. I wanted to see her. I wanted to know who it was. I wanted to know who was like basically tearing up who I had been with for all this time. I just knew it was a girl in school. And so we ended up breaking up. He basically, that's when he came out and told me the truth. He was on a bike. He rode a bike from somewhere, from wherever he was at. He came out, he told the truth, and he was like, first he was lying about it, then he told the truth and said that, yeah, he was talking to somebody and all this other stuff. So we broke up, y'all. And I had to go back and live with my grandma. 18, used to being on my own, not having to, you know, have nobody tell me what to do. I did have a car. I had a car because my mom and my new stepdad was tired of picking me up from work late nights at Burger King. So my mama started like giving me her car, and they ended up giving me the car, and then I ended up taking over the payments and the car insurance. So that started my responsibility right there. Now that I'm thinking though, when me and broke up, I had to move. I had to leave. I had to leave. Anyway, I had to leave. I had to leave with my home of, you know, 3 years living with him to go back to stay with my grandma, who had all these kind of like rules. I couldn't leave out the house at a certain time. I couldn't be on the phone at a certain time. You know, we had the house phone, so I couldn't be off the phones. I would sometimes still sneak out the house because I was grown. I had a car and I was used to being out. And you about to tell me that I can't go places after a certain time? I didn't like that. So me and my grandma bumped heads a lot. Me and her husband bumped heads a lot. I do little stuff like he had sodas in his refrigerator. I go drink a soda once a week. I was eating up her eggs, her boiled eggs. I was using all her water, like taking long showers and all that stuff. She didn't like that, you know. And me, I felt like I'm grown. I can do what I want to do, and I definitely can leave out this house whenever I want to. Like, we had a pact that no matter what or who we with, we was gonna always go back to each other. Always, no matter what, we were gonna always go back to each other. So not only with that girl was he talking to somebody else, but he was also talking to another person. He was talking to a person that worked with me or whatnot, and I ain't trying to like badger his name, like I'm just trying to keep it kind of honest and real as possible. I'm also gonna message that girl. I said, okay, this is her name. If she say no, then it's not. But like I said, I'm just doing this as I go. I mean, it's our past. We older now. We done amended those situations and everything so we can, you know, live through this. We've lived through it. But so with having to move out with my grandma, of course, I was the type of person that I didn't want to, like, you know, mess with nobody else. That's who I was used to. He had messed up like my everything. So, you know, I was always dealing with him. Like, I would always deal with him. I could still go back to his house and everything whenever I wanted to. I had a key. I got permission from one of the girls, and I can say her name. Well, one of the ladies, because she's a grown woman. So after I had to go back to stay with my grandma, continued to, you know, be close. Nobody came before me. Nobody could not come before me, and that's just what it was. And nobody came before him, and nobody could not come before him. And that was our pact. So, you know, whoever had came in between that time, even though the girl from school, she did come before me. But like when it comes to her coming over there and stuff, she really couldn't, because I think her family was like strict, so she really couldn't. And we was still young, even though we was like 17. Well, I was 18. They was like still 17. So she couldn't really come around. So they ended up being together, and the whole time that they was together, of course, I was still in the picture, because I would come there and stay there. He wasn't there. I would come there and fuss him out, cuss him out, and tell him he better get there. And next thing you know, he was there. Like, I did all of that type of stuff. I was a teen. Even though I was 18, I was still a teenager. 18. I was still young, figuring out the ropes or whatnot. I don't know why I got these two things hanging right here. But I was still young, you know, trying to figure life out. And we basically, for real, probably shouldn't even have broken up, because after I had moved out and moved in with my grandma, me and her bumped heads so much that before I even turned 19, she found me an apartment. And in between that time, I'm working at Burger King, I found a job at Walmart. I got a job at Walmart. I started working at Walmart in 2004. So I was at Burger King for almost a year before I left. And I think I was coming up on my year. I was making $5.15 at Burger King, and I was gonna get a raise, and I was gonna be making $5.25. But I went straight to Walmart and started making $6, if I'm not mistaken. So I thought I was balling. I had my own car. I had my own apartment. And, you know, I thought I was balling. I was 18, had already, you know, got all of that stuff. I was balling. Working at Walmart as a cashier. Balling. But anyway, so that was that. We were still doing our thing until I got tired. While I was working at Walmart, I had met this girl named and me and her, we weren't close, but you know, we talked because we worked together. I just messaged her and I said, was it okay to say her name? And she said yes or whatnot. So I don't know how they met. I can't remember how they met, and then again, I think I do know how they met, but that's not I kind of can't tell it because of how they met. But anyway, because there's other people's business involved, and I don't want to, you know, go through that. But so they met, and it was, I'll never forget, it was a girl that worked with us, and she told me that was talking to my boyfriend. He had just got terrible. He got terrible in that time. So he was talking to her, and so I kind of tried to like play them against each other a little bit. I've always been the type of person that I don't want anybody to think that they're doing something behind my back. So what I basically did was, I was on the phone with him one day in the break room, I'll never forget, and I pushed mute, and I looked up at her and I said, hey, and then she looked at me with like this face, and she like, oh hey, and then I unmuted the phone and I said, Mike, she said hey. So he was like, man, go ahead, man. So that's how I opened the door to let them know that I knew that they talked. If they had did anything, I don't know. We had caller ID, you know, so whenever this number would call, I would call the number back and I would listen to the answer machine play, and it said, you know, what it said, but I didn't know who this person was. And I'm like, who is this person? I didn't connect the two. So once he started just doing stuff like that, I had to stop giving him my all when he wasn't giving me his all. Was he fulfilling the pact that we made? Yes. I always came first, but I didn't want to feel like I had to make him to do anything. And we are about to come to a closing on this part of me moving out at the age of 15, because we have already made it all the way to 18, and there will be more. There will be a next video to continue on what we're talking about. So after all that stuff happened and I felt like it was finally time to just let go, I met someone else. When I met a person, from me just being with on for that period of time, we had a bond, we had a friendship after the fact. And so I thought that some of the guys that I encountered they wanted me, not in they wanted me, they wanted to be my boyfriend. So that's how, if any guy tried to talk to me, that's how I dealt with that person. I thought that they wanted me, you know what I'm saying? But that's when I found out that all majority of dudes wanted to do was have sex. They weren't trying to be nobody's boyfriend. So that little part of my life, I'm not even gonna get into. We all have a past. So I had got to the point where, you know, I had completely had to like kind of cut off. So we would occasionally, let me put it that way, we would occasionally see each other. But I do want to tell this small story. The girl that he was talking to in high school was at his house one night, and I knew it because I used to come there, walk in there anytime I want to. But this here one night, he wouldn't answer the phone for me. He would not answer the phone for me. So I was on Halifax Street, I believe. I was on Halifax Street at Berlin them house, and I was like, I just went to Mike's house. I went to his house and I went to the door, and his mama was like, he not there. And I said, yes, he is. He's there. Because I went to the window, and it pissed me off, y'all, because he back there playing my playlist that I made on the computer. Yes. I used to sit in the house to make playlists on the computer. We had a desktop in the room. We used to play Sims. We used to fuss over the Sims game and everything, y'all. We was like big grown-up kids. But anyway, he was playing the playlist that I made, the little slow jam playlist I made. He ended up playing the playlist. He ain't in there playing that playlist by himself. So I went back when I got my girls. I went and got Ovita. I went and got Burley, and they his cousins, but they was on my side. You know how us girls get down. We went over there. I went to the window and stuff because his mama wouldn't let me in. I'm like, I need my shoes. She's like, what shoes is? I was like, my Chinese slippers. Yes, I had some Chinese slippers and they was under his bed. So I told her I needed them. So she went and got them for me, and I was like, you better come outside. So she was like, man ain't here, Chanda. Man ain't here. I got neighbors. I'm like, okay, I left, go to the window. I'm looking in the window. Me, Sharonica, and Ovita, we go, and then came out, and I wanted the girl to come out. I'm not gonna disclose her name at all, but I used to pick with this girl bad, y'all. I picked with her bad because she took my boyfriend. Like, she took my boyfriend. And then that time he answered the phone for me, that was like it for me. But she used to work at McDonald's, and she would buy him stuff. She bought him a hat. I would put that hat on, baby, go right to McDonald's and order me McChicken. So a lot of stuff that I did back in the day, I know that some of my karma for now, even though I was a teenager, but I still knew better. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff that I went through, been through, I accepted. And I kind of used to go off on him. I used to fight him. He wouldn't fight me back. You know, stuff like that. So, you know, that was that. And I used to be crazy because I would come tear the house up. I would come in there and tear his room up, baby. Do you hear me? I would tear it up. But it's crazy thinking about it. I used to go to McDonald's. Wherever I knew that she was at, I would bother that girl. I definitely bother her because I tried to tell her, like, that's my man. Leave him alone. But so that was that. That's neither here nor there anyway. But it's definitely a part of my life. And I'm trying to be as transparent as possible without, you know, including people who aren't in my life anymore that I can't get, you know, to be able to talk about them. I don't want to do that. I don't want to offend anybody or whatnot. So I do want to be as honest as possible with all of this. To end the story, I did used to go to, you know, wherever the girl worked at, and I would pick, and I would have on his hat and all that stuff, and he'd be like, she told me you came up there, blah, 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 all this other stuff. Hurt for me is that he ended up getting this girl pregnant, y'all. He ended up getting her pregnant. That hurt. But I was there with him the whole time. I treated her like she was my baby. You know, I got over it. I grew up fast, y'all. I grew up fast. But I treated her like she was my baby. I used to take her everywhere with me, you know, like I was her mama. And I used to get mad when he took her back to her mama. I used to get mad when he would go down there and stay and all this other stuff. Like, it was crazy. That's not even the half of it, y'all, but that's where I am gonna end it. That's not everything, but that's some of the stuff that happened when I moved out at the age of 15. It's so much more stuff that I probably can't even think of. I did used to keep a journal every day. But in the future story, I will be telling y'all what happened to that journal. What happened to all my journals. I had journals from 1997 up until 2007. Yeah, I had journals and I kept them, and I know it sounds so crazy, but I know God makes miracles, and I just would pray and wish that they would come up somewhere, but I know they're long gone. They in the trash, they gone. And they had so many encounters up there that I could just look at them journals right now and read them and tell y'all word for word for what happened, because that's what I used to do. I used to write down everything, y'all. I used to write down when I went in the bathroom. That's all I can think of for right now. That didn't end the relationship between 100%, because he's still gonna play a role in my life for a little bit longer. And we're gonna go and be on part two. Part two of my life is Steve. That's gonna be the next thing. When I first met my now fiance, when I first met him, we're gonna go into that on the next episode of Life with Chanda. Thank you guys for watching and listening to me talk and ramble and go on. But please, please do not forget to hit that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss the story. You will not miss the next episode because it's going to get deeper and realer and crazier. It's going to get crazier. And it is going to be one person up here that that's it. It's going to get crazy. Y'all keep watching. Thank you.